keep saying to me, wow, it's so exciting that you're writing a one-woman show. And then they usually add, especially with no theater background. And the truth is, I'm not doing this because I'm qualified, because I'm definitely not. I'm doing this because this has been something that has kept calling me. And instead of overthinking it, I just said, yes, I'll do it. So have you ever felt that? Then this is going to be the episode that you want to listen to because I'm going to share why I said yes to a one-woman show and why you don't need permission to do whatever is calling you. And today, I'm going to be talking about listening to that thing that keeps calling you. I'm going to give you permission to go for it and share a little bit more about why I said yes to doing a one-woman show. So, first off, if you're wondering, well, what is this one-woman show or what am I saying yes to? I have decided that I am going to write, produce, and star in a one-woman show. I'll let someone else direct me and be the stage manager, but I'm going to do the other pieces. And I have zero theater background, and I'm doing it anyway. And maybe there are things in your life that are calling you, kind of intriguing you, pulling you forward, or getting you excited about something. But the problem I see is that most people just ignore it, right? They don't listen to it, they push it down. And there's a feeling that just keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming back to you. You think about it randomly and it doesn't go away. And sometimes eventually someone else does it and then you see them and then you're so mad that they're doing it. And you're like, well, what is this something that could be pulling you forward? Well, it could be a creative idea. It could be a new direction for your business or your career, or maybe even like hobbies. It could be trying something completely out of your lane, what you normally do. It doesn't always have to make sense. It doesn't always have to fit your identity. Um, for me, doing this one woman show is the thing that's kept calling me. In the past few years, something that I've been really interested in is glass blowing. And while I haven't gotten out to do it yet, we've paid for a session. I haven't done it. There are other things that I get this spark, this urge, this pull, and I say yes to it. Not always immediately, but eventually I usually say yes to it. And I want you to know the feeling is not random. It's something worth paying attention to. But let's first start. I'm going to share a little bit more about why we don't say yes, because maybe you're here or you're wondering why you haven't moved forward. And the thing is, a lot of times people overthink it, right? You're like, oh, but so in this case with the play, like, but I have no theater background, right? So some common thoughts you might be like, I'm not qualified. I've never done this before. What will people think? Like I did a stand-up comedy class and I was like, what if I bomb? What if I bomb? Or this isn't practical. Maybe that's another thing you've thought. This isn't practical. So we actually, rather than looking for reasons to do it, we often look for reasons not to do it. And my hope for you is that you can listen to this pull, that you can give it time and space and eventually say yes to it. And so I'm saying yes, even though, like I said, I have no theater background. It's not what people are expecting from me. And in other cases, what you might do is instead of trusting the call, you start to build that case against it, right? I can't do it for all of these reasons. And like I recently felt the call, the pull, though it was more of a spiritual call to write a Christian women's book. And I was like, no, I have no theological like education. I don't have enough scripture knowledge. But the thing is, overthinking is often what stops us from doing the things that would expand us. And you at some point didn't know how to do the job you're currently doing or the business you're currently running. But you said yes at one point. You allowed yourself to be the student, to be new at it, to just figure it out, right? Maybe you didn't know why. But it's funny how we get older and we say, oh, I can't do that because of these reasons. I can't do that because it's not what I do. And we put ourselves into a box. And instead, you know what is the only thing that's needed to know that you want to do it. And this can be the uncomfortable part for high achievers, right? Because we're looking to do things for the three R's. What are the results that I'm going to get from doing this thing? What's the recognition that I'm going to get for doing this thing? And what's the ROI, return on investment of time, energy, and money? And if you're not going to get those three R's, or at least two of them, you're going to say, like, I don't want to do it. But this is different. Just saying yes and doing something because you want to is enough. Doing it and saying yes because you're curious is enough. Doing it and saying yes because it feels like it's aligned somehow to you, and maybe you don't know the reasons why, is enough. And that's totally fine. I want to give you permission to do that. You know, as I said, there was something about doing this one woman show that kept calling me. So I said yes. And it wasn't because it made sense, because I'll tell you, it's much easier for me to write a keynote as a professional speaker because I've already done it. I already know what it entails. I have zero knowledge on how to write a script for a play. And I haven't even seen a one woman show. And so now I'm like going to do it. And I'm not doing it because it's strategic, because in theater, it's a long game. Shows are booked 1 to 2 years out. And I'm not doing this because it's a great financial move, because actually it's a financial expense. I need to pay for others to help me to get this going. I've been paying for group writing lessons on like how to write a one person show. Now I'm paying for my writing coach to work one-on-one with me. Soon I'll be paying for a director to help me to figure out how to act, because I've never acted before. And then I'll be paying a stage manager to call the cues to the tech, who I'm also paying in the theater, that I'm paying for all the rehearsals. So there's a lot of financial investment where if I was doing a keynote, it would be me writing it. I don't necessarily need anyone to coach me through it. I'd have my team to make the PowerPoint, and then I would go and get booked. And the other thing is, getting paid for theater and getting paid for a keynote, what I've heard is the show pays a lot less for 1 to 2 years out if they'll book me. So then why would I do it? It doesn't seem like there's any rational reason, except I'm doing it because I want to do it. And wanting to do something is enough reason to explore it. That's enough. That is enough reason to explore it. I decided that I'm gonna be a coach, and I decided I'll go do it, and then I got the training to be able to do it. I decided, I want to give workshops. And so I went and did one, and then now I give lots of workshops. Also, make sure you check out the notes. There are some local live in-person workshops that I'm holding in North Vancouver. So check those out. There's also going to be an online version, so check that out as well. Those are going to be master classes. I also had a desire to do stand-up comedy. I took the class, I did a couple shows. I don't feel like continuing that, and that's fine. I also had the idea back in 2013 to start Dynamic Women. And that blew up. That was just me seeing the need, the desire of like, "Ah, I hate this surface level networking, and I want to create a better way of networking." And that was like a 2 a.m. decision. The next day I started with one location, and it built it to 8 different locations every single month. So if I'd said no to those things, if I'd said no to writing my first book, if I'd said no to putting together my first collaborative book, my first summit, do you see where I'm going here? Like, a lot of great things have happened because I've had a feeling. I've wanted to kind of like there was a pull, a spark, that I was excited about doing something. And that energy, when followed, that resonance can bring amazing results. So here's more about what happens when you say yes. You're going to expand who you are. Because as I shared, there was a lot of times where I was able to grow and to learn more. I have so many more talents and skills because of it, because I had to figure things out, right? You're going to start to see new parts of yourself, and others will as well. some people said to me like, "Wow, I didn't know you were funny." And I was like, "Right," because a lot of the content I put out there is very like practical or my stories or it's vulnerable or it's very like level-headed. So you don't get to see that funny side, but that came out in my stand-up and that's going to come out in more in my one woman show. You're also going to build confidence in a different way. So even though maybe you don't feel super confident about these new things, you're going to be able to pull in some talents and some skills you already have. And now you're going to build your confidence in a different way. I've already been on stage. I've already spoken to an audience. I've already put on kind of shows or keynotes or workshops or events. I've already filled the room in my own way, but theater is very different. And so this is me stretching and growing in a different way. So I'm learning things I never would have learned otherwise. I had to Google what a stage manager does. I'm getting paired up with a dramaturge. I didn't even know what that person did. So I had to Google it. I'm doing a lot of searching for answers. And it's quite interesting, right? I'm in the growth stage of it. Also, I'm becoming someone I wouldn't have become if I had said no. I'm meeting more people because of this. More doors and opportunities are opening to me. Not to say that you need to go write your own show, but by saying yes to your own opportunity or the thing that's calling you, that would be enough to open new doors. And you also get to model for others courage, the courage to just go for it, whatever. Also, permission for them to go for something that they're thinking of or wanting. Also, possibility, where we don't need to be trapped in the box of the titles, of the careers, of the business that we currently run. There is possibility in other ways. And all of this comes simply from saying yes to something that calls you forward. And you don't need to know where it all leads. You don't. I started Dynamic Women as just like one group. I just wanted one group. And people kept coming and saying, I want you to start another group in my city. Can I give you a location? And so even though you want maybe to be clear about the outcome, when you start, you don't need to know the outcome to get started. And so instead, we ask, will this work? Will this pay off? Will this go somewhere? What do I need help to do? What are all the steps? We get into the weeds and we put obstacles and block ourselves. But the doors and the opportunities and the different things, they start to show themselves as you say yes and as you get going. And not everything you do needs to become a business, a product, a success story, right? You don't have to have success in it. You just need to try it. It doesn't have to be a strategic move. It doesn't need to be a long-term thing you do. And as I said, I've been very lucky that my desire for all these different kinds of things, like this different kind of networking group, was probably a decade of success in Dynamic Women and all the people I made and all the things I learned from doing stand up. And I didn't become a paid comic. I think the most I got paid for a show was $22. It was basically my gas money to get there. When I did it, I was part of a show for an over 55 group, though most of them were in their 70s, 80s, and had walkers and white hair. Anyway, $22. But sometimes it's just about the expression of it. I still had tons of fun. It's the growth piece, it's exploration, maybe about what else is possible. So while I'm not going to be a comic, I love bringing humor into my keynotes and humor into my workshops. So if you've ever spent any kind of time with me in a group setting, you'll know that there's a lot of jokes and a lot of fun that comes out in that capacity. And you're allowed to start something and to follow something without even knowing what the outcome would be. So, what's calling you? Hmm? What's something that keeps pulling your attention right now? What have you been thinking about that maybe you've been like, oh no, pushing away? What have you told yourself you're not allowed to do, you don't have permission to do, or it doesn't make sense? I encourage you, like, just stop overthinking it. Don't overthink it. Just take one small step towards it. One small step. Doesn't have to be major, right? For me in the comedy, Yes, my first step was go sign up for a class, but maybe it was just show up and watch a stand-up comic. It doesn't have to be that you sign up and go all the way through it. You could just go and watch someone who does it. That might be the first small step. But what would saying yes in your case be? What would that first small step? Because if something keeps calling you, just saying yes is way more powerful than overthinking it. You don't need permission. You don't even need to be qualified, right? You don't need to justify it. You don't need to give all the reasons. People ask me, like, why are you doing this one woman show? I don't know, because I want to. What was the main reason for it? I don't know. I just like, I felt a desire. And you don't need a reason that makes sense for everyone else. You just need enough to say yes for you. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to just say yes to something that keeps calling you. And saying yes is probably enough. You can get started. I know you can. I'm really curious about what the thing is that you feel is calling you. I don't want it to sit there. I've talked with someone whose friend the is a nurse, and she was saying that she had the privilege of sitting with a lot of people in their final days, and they would talk about all the cool things they wanted to do but never did. And I would hate for that to be the case with you. So if you haven't yet, please share this podcast with a friend or all your friends or on your social, and write a review. And when you do, please screenshot it and send it over to team@dianerolston.com. I would love, with your mailing address, I would love to send you a little something special in the mail. So make sure you always check the show notes too. There's new postings about master classes or events or special programs that I'm offering. And so that gives you kind of an update on where we're at and what we're doing. Would love to have you be part of something. Or if you're thinking, wow, I do have something, Diane, I do have a great idea. I do have something that's been calling me and no one is supporting me, or I want more support to make this happen, then reach out. Diane@dianerolston.com. Be happy to coach you through that. So until next time, say yes, obviously, and stay dynamic. Bye.